they have Sandie La Nae and Arline La Ferry, our own docent here. And it's a neat mixture, and Sandie is a psychic, so watch out what you're thinking today. And if you have an empty thought, she might put something in your head, so be careful. And then we have Arline, who, as all of you know, is our docent. If you want to know any information about anything, she knows. Yes. And the two of them put together this book, and it's really a lot of fun, and it's wonderful for Halloween and all like that. They've done a couple of other books that are great too, but this is the one they're going to talk about today. And they'll have some books available for you to purchase if you'd like, and make terrific Christmas gifts.
Cool. Well, thank you. Boy, what a nice promotion. Well, hello everyone. Right, you can change it now. Thank you. My name is Sandie La Nae, and I'm an author and a psychic, and I live in Carson City.
And I'm Arline La Ferry, and y'all know me. I hide out in the library, and I dig up dirt on dead people, and I specialize in cemeteries.
That's fun. That's fun. I'm glad that you are in all of those places. Well, Arline and I first met in the summer of 2013, and I was writing a book called The St. Mary Louise Hospital up there in Virginia City, and I was introduced to Arline. And she was instrumental in helping me discover accurate historical facts about the building, the people, and the happenings within. And we became fast friends. All right, how Weird Reno was born. This is a very interesting story. Arline and I are, of course, Facebook friends. And every once in a while, Arline will post a particular interesting article on her Facebook page. Well, one day Arline posted an article about bones found inside of a safe deposit box. And I said, oh, Arline, I think you and I need to write a book about the very interesting, weird things that go on in Reno. She agreed, and here we are. We have a cool book. All right. We'll speak more about that later in the lecture. For this lecture, we would like to talk about some of the items of the different chapters in our Weird Reno book for your listening and viewing pleasures. There are some very weird laws instituted in Reno, and some of them actually are still on the books. Here are a few. Do you know that it's illegal to ride a camel in Reno? But it was acceptable to do so until the 1870s. Now, it is only legal for bar owners to sell beer if they are brewing up soup at the same time. Budweiser soup, I think that's good. You know, it is illegal to fit shoes to your feet using x-rays. I don't know why that would be. And under no circumstances, this is especially for Arline, it is illegal to cuss at dead people. And also, it is illegal to place and sit on any bench, seat, or chair in the middle of any Reno road. Isn't that crazy? Now, Reno has had its share of interesting, weird happenings through its history. Did you know that jeans with reinforced rivets was born in Reno in 1871? Yes, by Jacob Davis. And he later teamed up with Levi Strauss, and the rest is dormant history. I think that's pretty darn cool. Here's one that Arline really likes. In 1913, wife of Senator George S. Dixon of Nevada had in Mountain View Cemetery a stately mausoleum of marble and bronze built for the mortal remains of her husband. Constructed by prolific architect Frederick D. Longchamps. D. Longchamps, is that how you pronounce it correctly? Okay. Chomps.
Freddie.
Okay. It sits at the north end of the main avenue. Now, the exterior of the tomb is fashioned of statuary Vermont marble. Wow. Doors and windows are statuary bronze, and the whole design is on the Roman Doric order, with a portico of 4 massive columns flanking each side. Wow. The mausoleum actually has 8 crypts, and 6 are above ground.
And the reason why it looks so funny in here is Mountain View uses reclaimed water. So when you go up there and you see all the beautiful mausoleums and tombstones, it looks like somebody went up there and sprinkled them all with chocolate syrup. It's because they use recycled water and they're damaged and they'll never come back.
I have forgotten, how tall is that? It looks real tall, but it isn't that tall.
Probably about 20 some odd feet high. It's enormous.
Oh, all right. Washoe the chimp was born in 1865, and later University of Reno scientists spent 4 years teaching Washoe American Sign Language. Washoe developed a vocabulary of over 200 signs, becoming famous as the first chimp to acquire human sign language. Coco wasn't the first one. Now, on April 1st, 1868, the Reno town site was laid out. That was April Fool's Day. Is that a sign? Weird. That was weird, yeah. Now, if you visit the William D. May Museum at 1595 North Sierra Street, you will see an actual shrunken head. It's creepy. All right. Now, this famous icon has extensive and interesting history, but briefly, the first Reno Arch was erected on Virginia Street and Commercial Road in 1926 to promote the upcoming Transcontinental Highways Exposition of 1927 as a conclusion of America's first coast-to-coast motor routes. Deciding to keep the arch, Reno City Council held a contest for the slogan for the sign. The winner, Mr. G.A. Burns of Sacramento, California, won $100 for coining the term, the biggest little city in the world. Now, in 1934, the new sign was built adding the modern lighting miracle, neon. As you can see, the arch went through many changes, and in 1960, the spinning star was added. In 1986, the newest version of the arch was created by the Young Electric Sign Company. And as a piece of trivia, when this arch was created, the signage company made sure to add bits and pieces of every one of the previous signs into this construction. That's cool. All right. Everyone has loved money since the day it was first invented. Now, here are 2 weird accounts involving the Carson City minted Morgan silver dollar. All right. LeVere Redfield did not like the government, and he did not like paying taxes. And he also lived as a pauper, with most people thinking he was quite poor by the way he dressed and behaved. But, however, he did favor the Morgan silver dollar, minted in Carson City, and his friends at the different Reno banks would inform him when a Morgan silver dollar would come in, and he would pay astonishingly a huge amount of paper money for a particular silver dollar. He would fill gunny sacks with the coins and then drop them down the coal chute to his cellar. Well, on his death in 1974, the inventory was taken of his estate, and it showed that Redfield had amassed 650,000 coins. Now, in 1974, the value of those coins was $7.3 million. 1974, what would that be today? Whoa. Now, a casino worker by the name of Rudy did trade paper money for silver dollars, especially liking the Morgan silver, which he saved and saved and saved. Upon his retirement, he amassed 4,100 silver dollars, including 3,312 Morgans. Now, one happened to be a scarce O/S dollar, created when the San Francisco die was repunched with an O. The value of this coin in today's dollar, it figured, is over $38,000. All right, I love gangster. The time period of the gangster was mostly from 1924 to 1938, and the term public enemy was first popularized in April 1930 by Frank J. Loesch, then chairman of the Chicago Crime Commission, in an attempt to publicly denounce Al Capone and other organized crime gangsters. Now, this is Lester Gillis Joseph. Lester Joseph Gillis, aka Babyface Nelson. He was dubbed this name in 1933 by a victim who was intrigued by his youthful good looks and his small stature. Then the boyish criminal then robbed the woman of $18,000 worth of her jewelry. Today's value would be $322,642.44. Wonder if she still thought he was good looking after that. Babyface Nelson's career began in 1928, mostly driving bootleg liquor, but he soon graduated to armed robbery, then murder. Fleeing west to avoid capture, Nelson hooked up with Reno crime boss William Graham and bank robber Eddie Benz. Hanging out Reno for a while, Nelson and Benz went to Michigan, committing their first major bank heist in 1933, taking $4,000. His criminal career in full swing, he became public enemy #1, killing more FBI agents than any other criminal. He was shot by the FBI in 1934 in a shootout termed the Battle of Barrington. Now that's nice history on gangsters. Now, I thought this was interesting because when I was reaching the favorite gangster getaway car of the 1930s, it turned out to be a 1930 Ford Model A. So if you get one of those, you can become a gangster. All right, this is a fun story. Well, maybe not back then, but all right. 19-year-old Frank Sinatra Jr., performing in State Line, Nevada, was abducted from his hotel room by 2 delivery boys and thrown into the back of their truck of their car. The kidnappers were a bit dense, though. They forgot to bring extra cash to gas up their car. They opened up the trunk and they said, "Frankie, can we borrow some money from you?" Frank Sr. holed up in Reno Hotel, waiting for hostage instructions, and told the kidnappers he would pay $1 million for the return of his son. But the abductors were not greedy. They refused the million, stating that they only wanted $240,000 to the pit. Well, of course, they were caught. Frankie came home, and the kidnappers went to jail. But they were released soon after because, like a guard stated about them, they were unequivocally crazy. All right. Do you know that when you get a divorce in Reno, it's called taking the cure or getting renovated? In 1931 alone, after lowering the Reno residency just to 6 weeks, 5,260 dissolutions were granted. During the decade of the 1930s, over 30,000 divorces were granted by the Washoe County Courthouse. A lot of unhappy people. Now, it is legend, I'm sure you probably all know this, it is legend that when a divorce was awarded, the divorcee would kiss the courthouse pillar upon leaving the building and walk the short distance to the Virginia Street Bridge that crosses the Truckee River and throw their wedding rings into the cool water. Now, if your ex didn't mentally accept this ritual, an editorial cartoon postcard could be signed and mailed, vehemently and humorously verifying the done deal. Now, on the other side of the coin, Silas Earl Ross was a dedicated mortician. So dedicated, in fact, that he married a coffin. In 1914, Ross became a funeral director First as an employee of the Reno Perkins Gulling Company, then as a partner in the Rossburg Mortuary in Reno. He was very active in promoting and developing professional standards and regulations for the mortuary industry. But before, however, Ross married Emily Coffin in 1913. Now, Reno and the surrounding areas have been a very favorite place for producers and directors to film their movies. Following, we will present pictures of a blockbuster film filmed in Reno, one per each decade. How many movies did you see? In 1939, Charlie Chan in Reno. In 1949, Mr. Belvedere Goes to College. In 1957, Wild in the Wind. And in 1960, Ocean's 11. In 1976, The Shootist. It was filmed all over Nevada, here in northern Nevada. 1986, Top Gun. In 1992, Sister Act. Love that movie. And in 2002, Austin Powers in Goldmember. That surprised me. I thought that was all done in England. It was done here too. And then in 2011, The Muppets. Still have to see that movie. All right. Now, many celebrities, personalities, and notabilities were born in Reno, and our book has quite a few pages of the native Renoites. But today we will present a short but impressive list in our lecture. I'm sure a lot of you know that Senator Patrick McCarran was born in August 1876, and he was a member of the Democratic Party, serving as Nevada Senator from 1933 to 1954, and he is also the namesake of McCarran International Airport in Las Vegas. Actress Reno Brown was born April 1921. She started her entry into films and small parts in movies shot around Reno. She became a famous B-Western actress, working as a trick writer and stunt woman, and later a leading lady for the low-budget Monogram films. She married Lash LaRue and had her own radio program titled Reno Rides the Range during the 1940s. Now, this is actress Dawn Wells. She was born in 1938, and you might remember her as the perky farm girl Mary Ann Summers of the sitcom Gilligan's Island, which ran from 1964 to 1967. Director Curtis Hanson was born in March of 1945, and he directed features including The Hand That Rocks the Cradle in 1992, The River Wild in 1994, the Academy Award-winning LA Confidential in 1997, and was critically acclaimed for directing Eminem in the Universal Pictures film 8 Mile in 2002. In fact, I just saw on Facebook, was it last week, I believe he just passed away. So, yeah. This is Jennifer Harmon, and she was born November of 1964. She is considered to be one of the greatest card players in the history of poker, and she has won 2 World Series of Poker bracelets, one of only 2 women to have done so. Yeah. Baseball player Nate Shearholtz was born in February 1984, nicknamed Nate the Great. He has been an outfielder for the San Francisco Giants, Philadelphia Phillies, and the Chicago Cubs. And all those wonderful people were born right here in Reno. Weird animals. Did you know that in 1949, Reno had its own talking dog? A registered Boston Bull Terrier by the name of Sonny Boy was quite a Reno celebrity. At 5 months old, his first word was now, when he begged for food from his owner. And hearing a neighbor child calling out for his mother, Sonny Boy learned to say mama. Now, he also learned how to say out, right, and I want. The vendors, Sonny Boy's owners, stated that their parlaying pooch would use the words in different combinations, such as I want out right now, Mama. Sonny Boy appeared in Reno community events, several occasions being fundraisers for the local Humane Society. All right, Reno has its share of skeleton and sordid and amusing secrets. Now, with the following, we'll expand on the safe deposit box story. You want to speak that, or?
Yes, when I was going through a newspaper, I saw a little article and it said, bones taken out of a safe deposit box for a trial. Well, I couldn't let that go, so I had to follow it all the way through. This was, I think, in about 1914. There was, in those days, women gave birth in a maternity home. And this nefarious doctor performed an abortion on this lady, and she hemorrhaged, so he brought her to the hospital, and she died, and the sheriff was called, so they went over to the maternity home and went through the wood stove where the remains of the abortion had been put in to be burned, and they took all the bones and they cleaned them up and put them in cotton and held them in the safe deposit box until the trial. And the doctor's attorney was P.A. McCarran, and it was one of the cases he lost. Anyway, the doctor was found guilty, and he spent time in prison in Carson, and then he later was released, and he went down to Mexico where he practiced medicine. But I thought it was just so amazing in 1914 that they went through all these shenanigans for the trial. So consequently, when I found that article and did a little workup on it, I had to post it to Facebook. What's in your safe deposit box? Anyway, so that's how we started this. Anyway, so what is in your safe deposit box?
Very nice, thank you. All right. Now, at times, skeletons do come out of the closet, or in this case, a shed. To handyman Neil McClare's horror, he found fragments of bones in a shed on South Virginia Street in 1957. Summoning the police, it was discovered that the bones belonged to an anatomical skeleton used by the then deceased Dr. Sullivan. The authorities contacted the doctor's son, Ralph, who embarrassingly stated he never cleaned out the shed after his father's passing. All right. Now, Reno has had its fair share of horrendous crimes. Some are mysterious, maybe some are conceivable. Let's see. All right. The following story is written and given permission from Nevada Historical Curator, Philip Earl. Sorry. Okay, many people today assume that the frontier tradition of taking the law into their own hands halted when governments were established and the courts began to function. Not so. Many lynchings took place right here in county seats, not in the proposed remote areas. Reno had such a lynching. A troublemaker, Louis Ortiz, shot and wounded Deputy Sheriff Richard Nash at the Grand Hotel on September 17, 1891. Nash, a respected lawman, had his own groupies. And 2 days later, September 19, a mob assaulted the county jailer, Deputy John Coughlin, holding him at gunpoint as the gang took their intended victim, Louis Ortiz, from his cell and strung him up on the Truckee River Bridge. And that was that. Now, some criminals are really stupid. A Reno man in 2006 voluntarily submitted DNA evidence to support his innocence in a robbery. But the same sample convicted him of a murder charge in 1997. Boy, I'll tell you. Now, entertainment in the 1870s was a lot different than the amusements of today. A horrific murder happened in the mid-1870s near a sulfur mine 12 miles from Humboldt. A man actually, a partner to the murder, was literally butchered over said sulfur mine claim. by J.W. Rover. The man's body parts are tied up in bags and buried all over the area. The collar of the man's shirt was found in a sack which contained the head. Ugh. When the sheriff arrested and jailed Rover, the word of the heinous crime reached the public, and a great crowd gathered outside of the jail, each hoping to get a glimpse of J.W. Well, sentenced to hang on February 20th, 1878, then Reno Sheriff Lamb issued 100 invitations for the Rover execution. Now, what a thing. Wow. All right. Now, Reno's sister city, Sparks, Nevada, was established in 1905 and was first called Harriman after E.H. Harriman, president of the Southern Pacific Railroad. Oh, but the city quickly renamed Sparks, the city of Sparks, after John Sparks, the governor of Nevada at that time. I think that was a good choice. No offense, Harriman. All right. Now, as you know, Bertha and Tina, later joined by Angel, were Asian elephants and performed together at different times in the celebrity room of Shawnesquagas Nugget from 1962 to 1999. They also were featured guests at community events and the Nevada Day Parade in Carson City each October. John so loved his pachyderms that he made sure that they were treated like royalty. A large barn known as Elephant Palace was built for them on the Nugget parking lot, and the three celebrities enjoyed electricity, heat, and running water. And their trainers lived above them, so they were always on hand. Now, have you ever heard of a rooster being thrown in jail? I tell you, this is the funniest story. Shawnesquaga had an icon, a rooster crafted for the opening of his new restaurant, the Golden Rooster. And Golden Rooster Room, I should say, in 1958. It stood 10 inches tall and was 8.5 inches wide and was fashioned out of 18-karat gold. It was most definitely a must-see attraction, bringing worldwide attention. In 1960, the United States Treasury officers confiscated the poor rooster, charging that the nugget was in violation of the Gold Reserve Act, which makes it unlawful for a private citizen to have more than 50 ounces of gold in their possession unless it was in the form of an art object. So off to jail the Golden Rooster went, serving 2 years behind bars. In March of 1962, at a jury trial, mind you, the government could not sway the testimony of art critics who all agreed that the nugget and the Golden Rooster was indeed an object d'art. The rooster was now free. Wire services and newspapers throughout the nation ran the story with a headline shouting, "Solid gold bird liberated." Thank you all so much for joining on this lecture. It's been an honor to have each and every one.